Welcome, New Earth Collective. I'm your host, the Goddess Illuminated, High Priestess, Empress, and a spiritual guide for those walking the path of awakening. Today's episode is called The Dark Side of Lightwork. When it comes to being a healer, let's be real, not every part of this journey glows. If you're rising in your spiritual gifts, you can expect resistance, but you don't need to fear it. So in this episode, we're going to explore the dark side so that new readers and healers can understand it, master it, so you can protect yourself and stay aligned with your higher calling. Lightwork isn't just love and light, it's shadow work, sacred boundaries, and service. It's about healing others without losing yourself. But here's the truth. The moment you begin to rise, resistance will meet you. Spiritual attacks, energetic entanglements, and even karmic backlash, they're all real. Today, I'm here to show you how to recognize the dark forces that prey upon your openness and how to close those doors so that the enemy can't sneak through. I really liked these images of the angels rising above the fray because while spiritual warfare is real, it only exists within the valley of the shadow. As we break free of our limitations, recognize our light, acknowledge that the world or reality is just vibration. It's nothing but a reflection for us to learn from, a portal for healing and integration. We don't defeat the enemy, we simply rise above it, and then it no longer exists in our reality. So let's drop in deeper, because here's the truth that not everyone tells you at the beginning of your spiritual path. When you're doing readings, energy work, channeling messages, your energy centers, your chakras, they are active. They're more open and they're more sensitive. And that's beautiful, but it also makes you a heck of a lot more vulnerable. The chakras are real, powerful energy portals that connect our physical, emotional, and spiritual bodies. When they're balanced, we feel aligned, protected, and purposeful. But when they're imbalanced, or they're like wide open, especially during readings or healing sessions, they can act like unguarded doors, letting in more than just divine insight and light. If you're not aware of this, you might start noticing strange things: sudden exhaustion, emotional overwhelm, intrusive thoughts, and even spiritual confusion. That's because when you level up, opposition shows up. Darkness doesn't chase the sleeping, it chases the awakening. But here's the key. Darkness only enters through open doors. When we understand which doors we left unguarded, we can choose to close them intentionally, lovingly, and powerfully. Let's walk through each of the 7 major chakras and we'll explore how they can either be your shield or your shadow entry point. The root chakra governs grounding, security, and your relationship with survival. But when it's out of balance, it opens the door to fear, scarcity, and greed, especially when you begin charging for your gifts or comparing your growth to others. Greed, even subtle, the desire to take more than you've been guided to give, becomes a spiritual crack. Here's how to close the door. We need to practice generosity, trust in abundance, and remember, what you give from your heart returns multiplied. The affirmation that we use for the heart chakra is, I am safe, I am grounded, and I am deeply provided for. The sacral chakra is your wellspring of creativity, sensuality, and emotional flow. But in its shadow, it can draw lust, codependency, or emotional chaos, especially if your own healing is incomplete. This door can be wide open during readings where there's a lack of emotional boundaries or when unhealed trauma is stirred. In order to close the door, we need to embrace our sacred sexuality. We need to move from self-respect. We need to feel deeply, but stay rooted in our center. We can use the affirmation, I honor my sacred energy and navigate my emotions with grace. navel chakra is where your power lives, your motivation, discipline, and soul direction. But when this fire dims, it can lead to apathy or sloth or burnout when it's misaligned with ambition through wrath. In the spiritual world, this can show up as self-doubt, imposter syndrome, or unchanneled rage when people don't get your work. To close the door, we need to make sure that we stay in alignment with our purpose, follow our intuition over our ego, and let our actions come from devotion, not the need for validation. We can use the affirmation, I move with purpose, I burn with aligned passion. The heart chakra is the gateway between the earthly and the divine. When it's open, love flows from you, to you, and through you. But when it's shut, we block both intimacy and spiritual downloads. A closed heart can cut you off from divine guidance, or worse, make your readings cold or disconnected. To close the door, we need to begin with self-love. Then we can open to others, not with blind trust, but with conscious compassion. An affirmation we can use is, I give and receive love freely. I am a channel for the divine connection. Our throat chakra is our truth center, and when it's balanced, it allows for clarity, integrity, and aligned expression. But if you've ever feared being judged about your beliefs or found yourself gossiping, oversharing, or staying silent when it mattered, this door might be wide open or too tightly shut. The big shadow here is spiritual arrogance, speaking from ego and not from spirit. To close the door, we need to make sure that we're speaking from the heart. We can check our ego by asking, is this truth for healing or for control? The affirmation we speak is, I speak truth in love. My voice is clear, humble, and true. Our third eye chakra is where our psychic gifts become active. It's our intuition, our foresight, our spiritual sight. But this power needs guardrails because without discernment, we can fall into delusion, projection, or fantasy masquerading as divine guidance. This door often opens too fast for new readers, and it can lead to burnout or even confusion. To close the door, we need to make sure that we're grounded. We stay grounded in our grounding practices. We need to check our discernment often. We can pray for truth, not just clarity. An affirmation we can use is, I see through the eyes of spirit. My visions are pure and aligned. Our crown chakra is our portal to the divine, to source, to God, and to the infinite. But if you mistake your access for superiority, your crown can become clouded with pride. On the flip side, disconnection here can make you feel like the spirit has gone silent. To close the door, we need to practice humility and stay in devotion, which allows us to receive that grace. Remember that we're a vessel, we're not the source itself. An affirmation we can use is, I surrender to divine will. I am a vessel of light. Now, every word carries frequency, and as readers and healers and messengers, our words have the power to bless or to curse. If we speak fear, limitation, or judgment over someone, especially our collective, especially in a reading, we risk spiritual karma. This is spiritual warfare through the use of the tongue. Instead, what we need to do is speak to uplift. We need to speak and seek potential and speak truth gently. Let your prophecies carry purpose and let your messages build, not break people. Now, another challenge we can have is getting spiritually enmeshed with the collective that we're channeling for, especially during collective tarot group readings or energy sessions. You might absorb sadness that's not yours, or get confused about what's yours versus what's theirs. We need to learn to protect our vessel. So some of the protective practices that you can do is cleansing your field every time you read. You can use smoking or, well, you could smoke cigarettes, but I meant, saging or smudging. You can use sound baths, salt baths, or even do some breath work. We can ask for divine will before each and every session. And then at the end of the session, remember to thank God or the Most High for the downloads that He's given you. We can set the intention that we're reading for the highest good of all, yourself included. Indigenous laws remind us to ask, to be helpful, and stay grateful. We can go outside and bring harmony with nature, going for a quiet walk. We can seek healthy independence and spiritual community, which helps us to bring balance between the two. When we work with the universal laws, we work with the flow, not against it, and we stay protected. Here are a few of the key laws that I like to live by as a light worker. Everybody knows the law of abundance. We also have the law of reflection. The world mirrors our own internal state. The law of resistance. What you resist persists, so accept it and alchemize it. The law of grace. You don't have to earn everything. You have to be able to be open to receive. And the law of gratitude. Gratitude is a spiritual force that invites in more blessings. Let these laws help you align with your practice and with love, not fear. To all the light workers out there, your path is sacred, but don't confuse sacred with safe. Stay vigilant, cleanse your spirit, speak with care, move with grace. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.